Hello everyone, welcome for the summary for the day of the 13th April of 2023. So for today, what are the major points, the major informations? So as you can see, there's a lot of geolocations, but I will start by talking about what happened in the overall. First, overall, we can see that there is a lot of attacks again in the Novoselka front. There has been a lot of shellings from the Russians and the Ukrainians in Zaporizhzhia front, and there has been clashes. There is also the information, the confirmed information that there are Chechen forces on the Zaporizhzhia front. So that's all for this front line. Moving on to the Donetsk and Lugansk front line, we have multiple informations. First of all, there seems to be a lot of localized fightings inside of some towns alongside the north of the Svatove front line or the Kupiansk front. It depends how you see this. There is a lot of probing from the Ukrainians into the Russian defense lines. There is still this big assault going on, but a major Russian counteroffensives. And a lot of fightings going on the Kreminna forest as usual, but the fighting in the Kreminna forest starts to move. There is movement right now because for a while it was a sort of static front line, but right now there is movement. There are a lot of map changes in this area, the Siversk front line, and there is a push from the Russians, and the Russians took back some positions in Bilohorivka. In the Donetsk front line, in the Bakhmut axis, most importantly, there is still fighting towards Pertichne and Stupochka, I think it's named. And there is reports of Russian troops moving toward Vyasukovka as a reinforcement. And there is more troops of Wagner's and Russians entering Bakhmut, and the whole place east from the railroad is Russian, and the Russians already crossed the railroad at some places, which is what I said in the previous videos. Don't expect the railroad to be some sort of like a barrier. It's just a railroad. You can cross it in 5 seconds if you run. So no, it's not some big deals. And in the Avdiivka front line, there is the previous Ukrainian assault that we covered in the last video that is still sort of going on, I think, but it doesn't seem to be working well. And there is still fighting south of Avdiivka as usual, but nothing this interesting. So now we're going to dig deeper in what I geolocated. So here you have first these geolocations. This geolocation that I found on Twitter stayed in Zaporizhzhia. So I just searched a bit and I found this. So in Zaporizhzhia, you have to know that most of the videos are either south of Orihov or south of Gulyaipole. So it's not really that hard to search, even though the front line is very long. So we had this geolocation. Let me show you once again. As you can see, there is the explosion here. So the Ukrainians were here. These shapes, it's this place, as you can see. And what changed, as you can see, I wrote map changes. There is this changing. So let me compare with previous. So as you can see, previously this looked like that. So I removed this whole area because well, the Ukrainians are here, but I moved back because there didn't seem to be Russians all around or something like that. I did not honestly, just my point, my understanding, but I don't feel like there is immediate Russians in this place. I think the Russians are in these three lines right now. And I did not remove this area. Why? Because first of all, it's uh, a bit more like far from what's happening in this place, because most of the troops are coming from Novodalinovka, this city. Wait, I'm going to put the names and even the like that. So yeah, most of the fighting is south of Danilovka, not really south of Orihov. And they did not remove this part because in the previous video, as you remember, there was this geolocation showing a Ukrainian troop, I think here. I don't remember. Something like this. Attacking from this part, it was something like this anyway, so I assume perhaps I could, no, I could even remove this area, perhaps. Because if the Ukraine were here, perhaps it just came from this road. So wait, I'm going to change it actually. Um, like this. I think the most likely new front line right now is something like this. Um, Again, I'm not. This part is not like verified with geolocations, so it's just my understanding. But honestly, my understanding is quite pretty good most of the time, so I think it's worthy enough. Like I can bother like showing you this kind of information or like making such assertions. But you know what? I will correct it later this video. But we're going to move now on to this next geolocation. So there has been the Chechens, yes. So in this geolocation, you see this. Um, there is this road on the right, this tree line, another smaller tree line here, and the bigger tree line behind. I believe it said like Zaporizhzhia, perhaps. I don't remember, but it's this view. So there is the smaller tree line you saw before. Wait, let me show you again. There is the big tree line, the smaller tree line, the big tree line here, the smaller one, and there is the tree line you actually see behind. So, which means that the Russians most likely were in this area when filming. Moving on to the next geolocation, south of Gulyaipole, or Gulyaipole, there is a geolocation of Ukrainian recon group being shelled under this bridge. So first you have this picture displays this hangar, trees here, and the railroad with the well, the bridge. It said Zaporizhzhia frontline, so it was somewhat easy to find. It's this, as you can see, there's the same building here. So yeah, there was Ukrainians here, and again I said I changed the map. I think. Let me, yeah. So the previous mapping was like this. So I know there is just this geolocation here. So why did I change all of that? It's just that I feel like if the Ukrainians are here while the city is here, then I think if they manage to go up until this place, then I don't see why they would like struggle to have this area too. And I think this tree line is the new this new border, like this new tree line being the border, is a better place. I think it makes more sense. But yeah, now coming on to the Vogledar Frontline, I made a geolocation. So there is this video I saw on Telegram, and you saw something like this. There was a tanks from the Ukrainian army that was destroyed by the Russian TOS system, Solntsepiok, the thermobaric rocket system. So you see this thing. Let me see. Let me show you once again. So you have a tree line here. The tree line keeps going, but the tree line sort of, you see, it goes in the another way, another sense, and the view is actually something like this. Yeah, in the picture you see this thing. So down you see some sort of trees. It's not a tree line. It's some bushes. It's these bushes. So now I'm going to move up to the Avdiivka front line. So there was, if you remember, in the previous mappings, there was like a geolocations of Ukrainians attacking in this place, this area, moving into by foot and vehicles, I think. Apparently, some of them managed to get up until this place. Let me show you the pictures. It's an assumption, it's not sure, but you see this. There's some Ukrainians here. As you see, they are not in a trench; they are by foot. So that's why I'm saying it's not like a holding position, but it's most likely from the same assault we saw in the previous days. And you see this shape. There is a road. Perhaps you don't see it very well, but most important part is these electrical lines. And it said, I think it said in the, yeah, it's the 132 Brigade first, and it's the Donetsk Army. So the view is actually this. Let me show you. It's this view. And as you can see, there is the tree, like the electrical tree poles are these things. I know it's not showing very well on Google Earth, but the view is like that. Yep. So I did not change the map because, as you remember in the previous video, we also had the proof that the Ukrainians here got like destroyed, and there was the drone filming from this area. So I think it's all coming. All these videos come from the same footage, the same assault. But if there is more information, I will change. And recently, like yesterday too, there was the confirmation that the Russians also were in this area. They were fighting the Ukrainians here were fought by the Russians in this place. So I believe, yeah, these Ukrainians were not here since long ago, but they just were like from the assault. Now moving up to the Bakhmut front line. So we have the confirmation that study information that the Russians penetrated this area. And there is a video that came out just now about a building in Bakhmut being destroyed, like a building that fell due to shelling, I think, or bombing. But I could not find the exact place again. Yet I will search perhaps, but it's not that important. Coming on to the yes, Perne or Vimivka frontline, there's big change. So there was this footage, this video that showed this part. It said it's around Spornoye. So I searched around Spornoye, like I saw this part. It said around Spornoye. I recognized this area, and as you can see, there is this small road here. There is this spot, and upon searching, I found like it's in this area. Yeah, there is the same road, the same spot, and what it changed is that in the previous mappings, because if you remember, the Russians were assaulting Vimivka, but apparently they did not succeed. In the previous mappings, it was like that. So it's a pretty consequent change. Again, it's not like um, towns or villages that were mapped as Russian or the opposite, but it's just fields, but it's still a consequential change. Moving on to the Bilohorivka frontline, we have this geolocation. This geolocation was not done by me. I found it online, but you see this thing. So it's a video from the Ukrainians apparently, and the Ukrainians were shelling I think, or I don't know. Anyway, they showed this Russian battalion that was here in this area. So in this area, we have, as you can see, the Russians here. Let me check back one time. Once again, yeah, it's this view. Oh no, sorry, it's this view actually. Yeah, I did not move the marker on the right place. I'm sorry. Let me check. Yeah, it's here. Let's look back once again. Yes, it's this place, so the Russians are here. And it's a very interesting piece of news because um, let me just put back the map on the right. Uh, yeah, like that. The previous mappings looked at like this. So all this territory was like taken back by Russia. And I say taken back because it's not just map corrections, but rear advances. Because if you remember, in some previous videos I've made, in the first ones actually, I don't remember really when, or I don't know. But the point is that I've geolocated one previous time Ukrainians in, I think, this place, this location. There was like Ukrainian troops in this place. That sort of proved, so that proved that Ukrainians were in this general area, and the Russians being here now just proved that it's just not some map correction, but really push from the Russians. So yeah, I'm going to keep monitoring this area and update the map as usual. And again, there is a geolocation here in the Kreminna forest. So this geolocation looks like this. Uh, I've even put the link. I did not forget this time in this one because the video is actually not violent, I believe, or something like that. It's yeah, and it's public. Like you can, even if you don't have Telegram, I think you can watch the video. So you see this. There's Ukrainian vehicle coming down from this road, and the vehicle stops somewhere here, and then shoots into this forest, this exact look, this forest, because like the Ukrainians were in this place, in this area. So the vehicle came from this came down this road. Let me just show you one last time the thing. So yeah, you see clearly the same road like here, yeah, and it allowed me to move the front line forward for the Russians because previously it was like that. So I don't have the confirmation that all this place is Russian. And if you remember, uh, I've made a previous geolocation. I don't remember really when. Yeah, the 8th of April, there was this geolocation of Ukrainians here. So now I'm sure that the Russians are here, the Ukrainians here, the Russians here. So the mapping is really the most perfect you can imagine it to be. Like it's really perfect mapping right here in this area, which I would not have expected since this place is a forest. But uh, I'm not going to be sad about that. It's good that the mapping is right. Uh, I don't have geolocations today for this front line. And if you remember, there is like the previous information, previous video that the Russians managed to capture some territories back in this general area. There is still fighting videos or assault videos from this general area, so I believe that the Russians are moving forward because there is a lot of fighting inside of forest area in this place. So the Russians are moving forward in this area, but I can't geolocate it precisely. And alongside this wall front line, as I said before in the beginning of the video, there's a lot of probing from the Ukrainians, a lot of fightings. especially around Kuzemivka. So that will be all for today. Thanks for watching this video. Bye bye.